I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. I'm going down to Chicago next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for the NMOA conference. We will be having a meetup on Wednesday evening after the cocktail party, and then probably out for dinner, although that might just be my wife and I. Depends. My wife and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so join me down there if you'd like. I'm also planning a trip to Boston mid-October, 16th, 17th, 18th, in that neighborhood. I will probably do a meetup out there. So if you have a recommendation, I'd love to hear it. Love to hear from you. Let's get together. Okay, that said, we're going to go over and talk about crazy in advertising today, innovation, inspiration, intuition, and all those sorts of things. So we'll start off with Auto Trader, who did a kind of a nutty ad, and I kind of like it. Let's go see if we can get this to work. I gotta hit this.
Look at the new sled on you.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it, I think. I know nothing about sleds. And then I'm just buying one? Like, how am I supposed to know what a sled costs?
What did you pay?
7 pelts?
Ah, so high?
Should've used Auto Trader. It's the only one with Kelley Blue Book. See the little ribbon? Lets you know the price is good. What a time to be alive!
And of course, if that ran in the UK, you might be accused of stereotyping because, dumb men not knowing how to buy a sled and the woman coming in and helping them. I'd say that's negative gender stereotyping. But it was funny. I thought it was funny. What do you know? What can you say? Anyway, it's pretty straightforward. I liked it. So anyway, 4 lessons from Facebook's FTC fine. Okay? So, last month, Facebook got a $5 billion fine for violating a settlement that they had made with the FTC. And the FTC basically said that you let the cat out of the bag and didn't protect it and didn't tell people enough. Now, the challenge is, I did some work with some sweepstakes companies, and the laws have gotten so mushy. It used to be that you could argue that a reasonable person could understand the disclaimer. When games like Farmville came out on Facebook, I would get invites regularly from my friends to play Farmville with them. And it said, if you click OK, we will take all of your contacts, all of your contact history, your messages, your posts, and we'll analyze it and we'll, abuse your friends the same way that you're being abused right now. So I hit decline. As much as I love my Facebook friends, I didn't want to, send out all of my friends to some third-party marketing people. I would say a reasonable person could have figured that out, but many of the people that invited me were pretty grown-up, adult, reasonable people. So what was going on? People don't read disclaimers. Reasonable people are dumb. Artificial intelligence is funny because there's very little real intelligence. So anyway, what can we learn from the Facebook fine? First, I love this one. Appoint a chief privacy officer. Like that's going to solve your Facebook's problem. We have to make a new job title at Facebook. He's going to run around and inspect every record that you have on Facebook. Never mind. Anyway, I like this one. Refrain from creating a new facial recognition templates. I'm not sure what a template is exactly, but delete existing templates. I'm not sure if that means they don't know what I look like and can track me all over on any, street cam or road cam anywhere. I think that, again, the cat may be out of the bag if we already have my pictures in assorted ways connected with my name and address, etc. So I don't know if that does consumers any good. On top of the Facebook penalties, the head of the FTC discussed breaking up Facebook by undoing the company's previous mergers with Instagram and WhatsApp. We use WhatsApp a lot because I like that it was end-to-end encrypted, but they didn't do that. They just thought about it. And Facebook has 2.4 billion monthly users, active users, and here are the points, the takeaways. Identify the intersection where digital transformation opportunities meet user trust risks. The challenge today is I was working with a business-to-business company, and we were looking at the 10,000 customers or so that they had, and their head of IT actually resigned at the thought that we would mail those customers a catalog. You know, they bought something from us, but they bought something maybe from a different category of product, and they said that was a violation of the company's privacy, and they resigned. And so the climate today is one of anything you do is in jeopardy. And I guess you got to figure that out. Interesting. Okay. Customer personal information must be handled as a joint asset. I think that was always true. I think we always tried to protect our own customers against abuse. I used to have the whitetail.com golden rule privacy statement, which was we're not gonna let your name out for anything we wouldn't want to get ourselves. I thought that was pretty fair, you know. Only offers we would really like to have. So we didn't mail too many offers, but I thought that was a pretty sensible privacy statement. Much better than the ones that say, we will never let your name out for anything. That's what gets you in trouble, Facebook. When you say that and then you let Farmville have the names, you're looking for trouble. Okay? Enterprises must consent as a business choice. You know, how many times do I have to ask for consent? How long does the consent last? Very difficult problems embedded in the GDPR. And when you ask for consent, that counts as an offer. So that makes it doubly difficult. So I'm not as big on consent. I'd rather protect against abusive offers than I would continually asking for consent. It gets to be crazy. And I don't even know what this Consumer Identity and Access Management, CIAM platforms are. So if anybody wants to help me with that, love to hear about it. So there's some takeaways that are decent. Okay, this one I wrote to Robin and I said, this was a really interesting article. He said, when you go to an ad agency convention and somebody comes up, the head of some market, you know, somebody who's the head of marketing at some legit company that sells something, all the chatter stops, the pens come out, and they take notes. I thought he was kidding because I go to marketing conferences and the chatter hardly ever stops. There's more going on out in the hall than there is at the keynote usually, and oftentimes it's because we got some psychologist or some political pundit up there to try to raise attendance. But anyway, so what he was after here, I didn't quite get where he's going for a while, but he then talked about Rory Sutherland's book, which someone else just mentioned to me yesterday on an extended interview we did. I'm gonna post that up. I'm gonna try a new format for interviews where we just go till we run out of things to talk about, kind of like Joe Rogan. Not as long as Joe Rogan, because I run out a lot quicker than he does. But he said, aversion to risk is natural. Not everything that works makes sense, and not everything that makes sense works. Far less career limiting to be rationally wrong than to use your intuition and be denounced as reckless, even if the outcome suffers. So, over rationalization. I wrote an article long ago called "There's never enough data to make a decision." You never ever get data from the future. All data is historical. All data is the past. And all it can do is sort out those happenings. And I really recommend this extended edition, and I'm going to have it up today later. So we're going to be talking about a lot of those things, about real-time data and data science. What is data science? And some of the puzzles. And some of the greatest breakthroughs had no precedent. most of the great product breakthroughs, heck, even like the smartphone, there was no smartphone, right? Not really. No iPad. I don't think much of them, but a lot of people do. Almost all of the, of the great product breakthroughs are experimental, and you try to test them. Even Post-it notes was nobody thought that would make sense. I didn't when I first heard about it. Now I use them a lot. So anyway, sometimes the professionalism of marketing has come at a cost and has disconnected us from real people, too formulaic, systematized, and risk averse. I highly recommend David Ogilvy's book, Confessions of an Ad Man, about some of the sort of impulsive things he did on a good night's sleep. Very, very brilliant. And one of the things we've tried to do with our design of our analytics system is actually create a way to uncover surprises, to trigger this intuition and trigger innovative thinking in the context of tweaking your marketing and making it incrementally better. But in that context, the surprises come out. We deliberately built it to reveal surprises. And we've seen 100%, 30, 40, 50% growth very, very fast. But a lot of our clients have doubled in size while we were there. Weren't doubling before we got there and didn't afterwards. Fascinating. So there is a way, and I recorded my webinar, AI ROI, 90 days. There's a way to do it. There's a way to iteratively look for surprises. So well done, Robin. I really like this thing. Let's embrace risk. Let's try some things. Fortune favors the brave. And it is possible, even though experts set the agenda, to find surprises and to leverage those for explosive growth. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Share, show you care, and your friends will think you're smart.